vampires are sexier. They're more interesting. They have more aura. They're scarier. They have more powers. And they have more potential for cringe, corny romances. Bullshit! This is a steaming pile of horse shit, and I'm gonna prove it in this video. Werewolves are not as popular as vampires. They haven't been in popular culture, especially in movies. Let's just be real about that. And I had to ask myself why. Why is this the case? I believe it's a psyop. I believe Hollywood has conditioned men and women, specifically women, to think that vampires are beyond. Oh, you can just do more with vampires. They're the very nature of their being. They have more powers. They have more that you can work with in movies, whereas werewolves are just freaking animals. False. False. Oh, they have more lore about them, and there's more genres in film and TV you can play with vampires. More personalities. Oh, you have the classy gentleman debonair like Elijah, and then you have crazy psychopaths, right? You have a whole variety of personalities that are interesting with vampires. With the werewolves, you don't have that much leeway to play around with. And you have all the heartthrobs, all the good-looking vampires that women can watch, like Vampire Diaries, Twilight, all this shit, True Blood. They're popular for a reason. Whereas they are just hairy fucking animals. What are these apes gonna do? They're not appealing to women. They're not appealing to anybody. I'm a fan of sexy vampires just as much as the next person. I'm an Underworld fan. Selene from Underworld, played by Kate Beckinsale, might be the pinnacle of all women to me. A lot of people might laugh at that. Listen, it's her or Sue Storm from Fantastic Four or Ana de Armas. It's like a tie. And then Lana Lang as well. It's a toss-up between those four. But this is like peak. So don't talk to me about sexy vampires. I know sexy vampires, alright? You don't want to know the things I've done in her name. Werewolves can't be sexy too? Man, that sounds so cringe saying this because this is a show that's sexy for girls to watch, I guess. But you're telling me werewolves can't be sexy? You're telling me werewolf women can't be sexy? You're telling me werewolf men aren't good looking to women? Teen Wolf already proved this wrong. You're telling me Laura Vandervoort from Bitten, the TV show Bitten from Werewolf, that's not sexy? Oh, only vampires can be sexy. Only vampires can have romantic relationships and make it all beautiful and steamy for the audience. You're telling me werewolves can't do this even though it's been done? False. Aura. No werewolf will have the aura of like a Dracula or a Nosferatu. Zaffi, come on now, be real here. The personality, the vibes, the darkness. Let's just be real about the situation. I present to you Deucalion from Teen Wolf, the demon wolf himself. Yeah, he looks like that when he's transformed. He's not just a hairy animal, no. He can be a swift debonair, the way he talks. He's basically Matt Murdock if he was an alpha werewolf. That's his personality. The way he talks is so amazing. He can talk with like, he has a personality of the best of him, and then he turns into a freaking monster like that. Not to mention Peter Hale, who, when he's not transforming into the most demonic werewolf you've ever seen, he has the personality of a swift devil, a villain who can charm a lady. That's what he's like. That's aura! Oh, but Dracula's the only one with aura. Get the fuck out of here. Klaus Michelson, okay, this is kind of he's a hybrid. I can't really use him all that well. But his werewolf side makes him even better. Let's just be real about that. That's why he's beyond most vampires. Not just because he's an original, but the fact that he's a hybrid makes him even freaking cooler. Lucian from Underworld, the man who overthrew his vampire enslavers. Vampires enslaved all werewolves in the Underworld franchise, and Lucian caused a revolution to happen. You're telling me this guy who led the werewolves in war doesn't have aura? Watch him in Underworld 1. He comes off as a villain in that because he's just that freaking swift and debonair, but he's also charming and charismatic. You're telling me he doesn't have aura? You can make any character have aura if you write them well. Lore and powers. Vampires just have more lore and powers around them. And I get it, the vampiric curse, coupled with the fact that there's multiple time periods you can play with. It's pretty awesome. You can make the vampire curse lore very interesting. Anywhere from a Faustian bargain with the devil to some crazy witch magic to Cain and Abel stories and biblical shit. Like, you can do a lot. But the werewolf curse is just as ancient and just as badass. There's a lot of lore you can use there. First of all, depending on the interpretation, in Vampire Diaries, werewolves came first. The werewolf curse was created by witches, and then vampires came as a response to the werewolves killing people. That's how the original family was created, because one of their children got killed by a wolf. Don't talk to me about lore and time periods. You can do that with Werewolf Curse too. Not to mention, there's many different interpretations of the curses you can put on. The Cursed is a movie that came out in 2021, and it has one of the most interesting and unique werewolf curses ever. It's like a gypsy magic curse caused by you taking silver cursed wolf teeth, putting them in your mouth and biting somebody, and then creating a werewolf curse that transforms people into one of the weirdest, most disgusting, depraved werewolf transformations ever. But it's awesome, and it's because it's unique. There are multiple different things you can do with the werewolf transformation and the werewolf curse that are beyond what you could do with the vampire curse, in my opinion, right? And not to mention, different lore, different powers. Are you fucking stupid? Teen Wolf shows that you have different forms of werewolves that you can shape into, and each form is unique to the person's personality. If you're a terrible person, you're going to become a demonic werewolf. If you're a good person, you're going to be a more majestic, beautiful werewolf. And then, if you're something in between, you'll become something in between, and those traits will show when you're fighting people. That's pretty badass. Are we going to forget that there's the whole alpha, beta, omega hierarchy within werewolf packs in the Teen Wolf series? And alpha is the most powerful, he's the leader of the pack, but a beta can kill him in his most vulnerable moment and take his power and become Red Eyes and go full alpha werewolf. And an alpha werewolf can kill various betas and absorb their power, becoming a demon wolf. Like, there's so many things you can do. You're telling me that's not awesome? Vampires simply can't do this. Oh, but vampires have way more powers you can play around with. They're godlike in certain interpretations. Werewolves are just fucking men who transform into wolves. Bullshit, this is dependent on the writers. The Beast of Gévaudan in Teen Wolf Season 5 literally engulfs himself in shadows. He transforms with shadows and uses the shadows to his advantage. Not to mention, depending on different lores, some werewolves have telepathy, not only with each other, but they can implant images into people's brains, Bram Stoker Dracula style, infiltrate their dreams. And then there's a whole thing with the lunar cycle. Their strength depends on like the moon and shit, right? So you can catch them in their more vulnerable states or their more powerful states. You can manipulate storylines with protagonists or antagonists as a result of that very thing alone, the lunar cycle. Oh, there's a villainous serial killer werewolf. Okay, we gotta track his lunar cycle and figure out when it's his weakest and kill it. Oh, but this could apply to a hero as well. If a protagonist is a werewolf, the antagonist can use this as a kryptonite to him. There's so many things you can do, y'all. So many things you can do to have a compelling story. Oh, vampires are just scarier, Zaffy, come on. They've been around for so long, Dracula, Nosferatu, like there's just more horror, more gothic horror with them. I'll give you that. Hollywood hasn't done a good job of making good, scary werewolf movies compared to vampires, okay? The closest I think they've come to scaring me with a werewolf is The Wolfman from 2010, because The Wolfman was just that brutal, but that was more because of the sheer utter violence. And even then, the movie itself it had some issues, right? And The Wolfman that came out in 2025 had potential, but it also kind of wasn't as scary as it could have been, and a lot of people just thought it was shit in general. So Hollywood has not done a great job with werewolf movies. There's something wrong there. They just can't get it right. Now, Robert Eggers might change the game entirely with his werewolf horror film with Aaron Taylor Johnson coming out soon. That might be a game changer, y'all. And I think if he does right, that could be way better than Nosferatu. 100 times better. Because Nosferatu is a story we've seen. It's like a Dracula story, right? We've seen it before. But he can do something completely different with a werewolf. You can do new shit with werewolf stories, man. I'm telling you. With vampire type horror, you get like gothic horror shit like Bram Stoker's Dracula, Nosferatu. You can even get Let the Right One In or Let Me In, right? You can get stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. Or Fright Night with a serial killer vampire, right? With werewolf stuff, you get xenomorph level horror. I'm talking Alien 1. Think of it, a feral creature that's otherworldly chasing you in an isolated area. You could do that with werewolves if you do it right. Hollywood's tried and they failed many times. You can dive into occult practices, satanic rituals, cults of werewolves. We saw Howling had a whole cult of werewolves. You can do serial killer shit as well. People love serial killer films. Well, Howling had serial killer werewolves as well. There's a lot of films that have had serial killer werewolves. We all know that Monster, Netflix, they love doing serial killer shit. They love glorifying it because they know women are going to watch a good-looking guy playing a serial killer. You can do that with werewolves too. But more than anything, the hump that werewolves are going to have to get through is there's something about vampires feeding on blood yet romanticizing women. Like, women love this shit. They love that bloodlusted appetite of vampires. The fact that they're so cursed, but they're still gonna fall in love. They're still gonna be in love with a human woman despite wanting to feed on her. There's something about this that women love. I think it's like the same thing with they love the serial killers that are good looking, that will have relationships with women and romances in their stories, even though it makes no fucking sense at all because they're psychopaths. Women just love watching this. They watch it to be relaxed. What the fuck? Women, if you're watching, bro, just to explain to me what this is. I don't understand the obsession. Like, like I can fix her, I can fix him. I understand, like, there's some toxic woman that men find attractive and all this shit. I get that part. But this shit is just weird. Now, as weird as I find this shit, that's fine. That's actually okay, y'all. Women, I'm a schizophrenic coke addict on the internet. You don't need to listen to me. You can like whatever you want. Like these freaks if you want. I'm gonna get the other side of the coin, the male's audience, to rally behind werewolves. Men, I need you to rally behind werewolves. If women like gothic horror, romance, vampire shit, which I do too, to be fair, I love Bram Stoker's Dracula, I need y'all to also rally behind werewolves. And I know women, you want to rally behind werewolves too, T-Fan, because I know some of you know this is fucking weird. You know this shit's weird, alright? I know it. I know it because Jacob Black, a werewolf. For the fans who are not disillusioned by Twilight, Jacob Black, the werewolf, fell in love with a baby. And a lot of y'all defended it. So I don't want you to tell me, oh, I don't like werewolves. You fucking defended a werewolf doing this nunce shit. Oh, imprinting's not falling in love. Zappy's not the same. Go fuck off. For men, I can understand if werewolves are more relatable. There's a more masculine animal side. You know, the whole, oh, we're hiding a feral animal side that we have to keep at bay, as cringe as it sounds. Men might be able to relate to these guys a bit more, right? There's also more badassery that men could be into with werewolves. The only time I've seen Hollywood do it right in any capacity is Love, Death, and Robots. Granted, Underworld and Wolfman 2010 also exist, but Netflix got it right with Love, Death, and Robots. I haven't seen badass werewolf shit like this since. I need Hollywood to take a page out of the Vampire Masquerade World of Darkness book. A lot of people wanted me to dive into the lore of this gaming shit because I'm going to tell Hollywood how it should be done. Vampires in this, despite having all the same tragedy and complexities of vampire characters because they're fighting bloodlust and all that, they ultimately are parasitic dark creatures of the worm. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The worm is a force of decay and destruction. It's Lovecraftian in nature, and it's like a force of darkness that's tempting people into joining it through wealth and lust and all this shit, right? And vampires are subservients to that. Werewolves are created to fight this force to save and protect Earth. They are like creatures of Gaia. That's what they are. They are literal warriors sent to stop this. They're like the Space Marines in Warhammer trying to fight off fucking the forces of the warp. That's pretty much what it is. Think that through. Werewolves are warriors fighting against cosmic Lovecraftian forces. Do you know how cool that fucking plot is? Not only that, there's complexities within the werewolf pack itself. Who can withstand the worm? Because the worm even tempts some werewolves to come to its side. Because there's a lot of werewolves who don't want to be doing this with their lives. They are literally created to be warriors fighting an impossible force and not being tempted into it. Imagine that. Yes, you have the interesting tragedy of being cursed like a vampire, but you have the same shit with a werewolf times 10 because werewolves in this story are the last force standing in the way of literally the force of the worm, which is destruction of everything, right? It's a spiritual enemy. And it causes divisions within a pack. There are werewolves that will fall into temptation, and this causes political divisions within packs and gangs. You're telling me that you can create a fucking gangster show storyline with werewolves too now? Because of the pack mentality? Look how many genres I've just opened up. Fantasy warrior shit, action adventure, cosmic horror, gangster shit, horror and romance, because Teen Wolf and Bitten approved that you can add those genres too. And you're telling me Hollywood still can't figure it out? They still can't figure out ideas to make good werewolf movies? Multiple, not just one? Hollywood is creatively fucking bankrupt. Instead of doing endless reboots and requels to shit, to IP and ruining them when no fans want it, do this shit. Hollywood, please. I'm begging you. Please make werewolves great again. Robert Eggers, I trust you. But no. We're gonna keep giving girls this shit. Stupid love romance, love triangles with vampires and humans. Stop it. Again, I'm okay with sexy vampire shit. Zaffy, world peace or be locked in a hotel room with these three for a night. It's a harder decision to make than you might think for me. It's the same market that you're targeting in one way. You can still get to the women who love soap opera and romances with werewolf shit, with Teen Wolf stuff, right? But then there's the whole, you can give women this shit, right? Women, tell me this guy from Teen Wolf, Derek Hill, is not a heartthrob for you. You don't find this man good looking? Of course you do. But men, tell me this ain't fucking badass as well. The warrior animal side of it that we can relate to, right? The tribalism shit and all that. The gangster politics of a pack. The warrior shit, not to mention the horror of a werewolf. Now, one thing I'll give vampires is, vampires have Morbius. Morbius is a vampire film created by Sony. It's Morbin time. Yes, werewolves, we don't have a goated meme like that, but you know what? We have fucking Wolf Cop. We have Wolf Cop, y'all. This is a revolution. I am starting a revolution of werewolves, alright? Werewolves need to be more popular than vampires because they are superior. I don't give a fuck what anyone says superior. They are better than vampires. They're cooler than vampires, at least. And I think you can do just as much with them as you can with vampires, if not more. I'm a vampire fan, don't get me wrong. But we need werewolves to get some shine. And you know what? I've made so many fucking werewolf videos on my channel. You can check them all out. Alright? Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.